I'm separated from Janelle, and I'm divorced from Christine.
Cody and I have separated.
What?
Let the joyous news be spread. The wicked old witch at last is dead.
Bobby is free.
Teflon Queen is officially free, separated, but you know how it is. Usually once you're separated, I know.
Okay, friends, follow me down this rabbit hole because I absolutely believe I've cracked the Brown family code. Okay, so on the latest episode of Sisterwives, some shit really went down. Dirty laundry is finally being aired out in the open, and it's like all the wives are letting loose in one way or another, even Mary. Here are the facts. Christine has moved away from Cody and doesn't call him her husband anymore. Also, a fact in my mind is the idea that Janelle is done and she's in the process of separating herself fully from Cody and Robin. This has been talked about by multiple sources, and the teaser for the finale basically is like stating that Janelle's going to tell us she's done. Okay, so then a couple of days ago, Without a Crystal Ball reported something. I know some of you guys who subscribe to me, you love Without a Crystal Ball, and some of you really do not like Without a Crystal Ball. I've received many different comments, and I can understand all of that. I'm only here to talk about what she's reported on. I want to just talk about it, okay? Because I find it interesting and I have some things to say about it. It's not good or bad. It's just information that I'm taking, and, tell me your opinion as well. Okay, so Without a Crystal Ball, she basically is like, I have some tea here. She writes, through contacts I've made in the world of polygamy, I was put in touch with a journalist who's covered polygamy for decades. This is a long post, so I'm not going to read all of it. But basically, she says that this journalist knows the Browns and the polygamous community really well and knew Robin. According to the journalist, they spent a lot of time in Pinesdale, Montana, where the AUB has a large compound. According to the journalist, there has been a lot of chatter about Robin's quote-unquote abrupt and sudden departure from her first marriage. She had this marriage to a guy named David Jessup. Robin and David were married with 3 kids, and the journalist alleged that Robin just up and left David. This was a pretty shocking decision she made, and allegedly David and others were very confused. Right before Robin left David, Cody Brown and his family were getting a ton of attention and becoming well known publicly and within the church. People in Pinesdale and all over the AUB were buzzing about the Brown family. Apparently, this allegedly intrigued Robin. She had big dreams of becoming famous herself. Robin wanted to meet Oprah, write a best-selling book, and change the world. This is what Robin said in that book that they all wrote together, Becoming Sisterwives. Of course, Robin also craved financial stability for her kids, and I think we've really seen that. We can see that everybody wants financial stability for their kids, but we've seen that with Robin on the show. And from my point of view, we can clearly disseminate with our own 2 eyes that one of the biggest positives that's come to Robin through being with Cody is having financial stability for herself and her children. When Robin moved, she had plans. Within the span of just over a year after Robin left David, she made contact with Cody and Mary. She had plans for more and wanted fame, the journalist alleged. When Robin moved and met Cody, the journalist said she played him and his wives like a fiddle and worked to get exactly what she craved. Okay, so I thought this was interesting. The source seems to be someone who may not know Robin and Cody directly, but just kind of has heard some rumors in the polygamist community. This all makes sense to me. Like, from the outside looking in, we can all kind of get a gist that this is somewhat of what may be going on with Robin and Cody's relationship. Now, as far as Robin leaving David Jessup specifically for Cody, I don't know if that's true or not, because we've definitely had some indications in the past that there was some sort of domestic violence going on in the situation. David Jessup has a history of DV against other people in his family, so it's possible that was happening with Robin as well, and it's something that's been hinted at. Either way, Robin's made it clear like she wasn't happy in that relationship, and she did want to have this crazy fairy tale ending with her husband. She wanted to be with only one man. She supposedly wanted to live a polygamous lifestyle. So I'm sure it was hard for her to just leave her husband. And to do that without knowing for sure that Cody was going to marry her would have been kind of a crazy decision to make if that was the only reason that she was leaving. But I do believe that from a distance, she probably noticed the Browns, and she just happened to join them right before the show started.
The first time I ever saw Cody was at church. I was very cynical at the time, had been through a divorce, hard divorce, sworn off men kind of a thing. You guys talk about lightning bolts. I didn't realize, but yeah, I felt like basically like a lightning bolt shoots through my whole entire body.
But here's what I want to talk about, because it's what I think is the real deal with what's been going on with the Sisterwives since the beginning of the show. And it all has to do with what I believe is going on with Mary Brown. Number one, when we first meet the Sisterwives, entering their lives in the first season, it seems like Christine and Janelle are fairly happy and content with their positions in the family. Christine is pregnant with Truly. Overall, the family seems somewhat functional, and they end up winning over so many fans. But years later, when I look back, in the background, to me, Mary's relationship, and we especially find this out later in the second season and seasons onward, Mary's relationship with Cody and the other wives was strained. I really believe Mary did not get along very well with Janelle and Christine. She felt different because she only had one child, and we know that Mary stated she wanted more and wasn't able to have any. You know, many people have that issue in their lives, and Mary's not alone. But she was surrounded by babies, children, and moms on a seemingly never-ending journey of getting pregnant and being able to enjoy being a new mother over and over again. She also watched her husband having child after child with other women. There's no way you wouldn't feel jealous or hurt or left out if you were put in that situation.
It's just an unhealthy place to go.
Cody and I are celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary. But just with everything that
and it's something that we've chosen, and it's going on we're okay with.
Robin,
and it's something that
family,
I know is going to help me grow and
there's
be
just
a
a little
better
distance
person.
there.
What
I
would
believe
like
we
from
can
you
honestly
is, like,
see on the
just
show
the
that Mary,
acknowledgement
she
that,
grew
yeah, I do
jealous,
have these
bitter,
issues
and frustrated.
feelings,
The idea that you're
and
jealous
just some understanding and patience.
and
I
that
think.
you struggle with the things. I understand that.
I think that there's been times that you haven't seemed like you've understood, and you seemed very impatient.
In the background of all of this, Robin was lingering around after her divorce. And here's what's up with Robin. She knew the family. We've been told this many times. She was around in the community, and they all communicate with each other in the AUB. She was also related to them through marriage, so they were aware of her and her children. I believe that it was Mary who Saul interacted with and liked Robin. I think that in Robin, Mary saw a woman who was desperate enough to give Mary a lot of attention, support, and positive feedback. Robin was looking for a husband, looking for a family, looking for a friend, and Mary really needed a friend as well. I bet Robin back then, much like she is now, was really pushing her kids to be super polite and well-behaved in front of outsiders like Mary and Cody. From the beginning of Sisterwives, in my opinion, Mary was always looking at Robin with a really weird gleam in her eye.
She's great.
I'm not the only person in love with Robin.
I definitely saw this in the first couple of seasons of Sisterwives. It's like Mary was so weirdly attracted to Robin. It was almost like Robin was who Mary wished she could be when she grew up. Robin was the cool girl in school, and Mary was an outcast in her own family, and she finally got chosen to hang out with someone Then Robin realizes Mary has like kind of a hot older brother in Cody, and she's like, yeah, I want to hang out with these people. But she was after the man all along. By season 3, the family had gone through massive changes. They had to move to Las Vegas, and the family structure really started to break apart. But in the midst of all this, Mary's only child was growing up and moving on. Mary's life was significantly changing, and in a time when most women in Mary's shoes would have their husband to lean on, or at the very least their husband would be sharing in the changes everyone is experiencing, Cody instead had other wives with young children still at home, in a totally different place in their lives. And he had to, or he chose to, focus on the younger kids. He focused on easier relationships. He focused on what made him feel good. He did not focus on Mary or Leon. To be quite honest, all the older kids seemingly got lost in the shuffle, kind of like left for their moms to help them figure out life, because Cody was always busy playing with the under 10 kids who are still in a stage where they worship daddy, they don't talk back, they laugh and play easily. Cody would hang out with the kids this age forever, because heaven forbid he have to face an adult problem. Mary saw all of this. She had been suffering for years before they moved to Las Vegas. And once she got there, she was more on the outside of that family than ever before, because everyone else was still raising kids and she was the one outlier. Honestly, before Christine ever realized it, Mary got it. She needed to get the heck out of Dodge. But it was a little bit difficult because Mary had given so many years of her life to this family and this idea. And now they were on TV and they were finally making money. Mary had been through 2 bankruptcies with Cody. They had struggled for a long time and didn't have money for Leon or for things that Mary wanted, so she wasn't going to leave it now. But she was sad and lonely, and the relationship she hoped would work out with Robin didn't really work out the way it was supposed to. It turns out Robin wasn't always some big pushover who let Mary do whatever she wanted. Robin could see that Mary was desperate for her friendship, and I think she used that. Robin was very devoted to this idea of Sisterwives closet, which wasn't winning or making them any money. And you could see Mary was kind of getting sick of it. Meanwhile, there was all this contentiousness in the family now because Robin and her kids struggled to get along with Janelle and Christine, and Mary had really shaken the whole family up by bringing Robin in, which was just fine with her, but she hadn't been left as happy and content as she had hoped. Everything she did with bringing Robin into the family still left her feeling lonely. She had no good relationship with Cody. And to be quite honest, something we saw on the show is that her child wasn't super close with her either. So Mary started texting, messaging, and sexting some guy on the internet. We have recorded conversations of her leaving voice messages for him and back and forth texts between the two of them. It's very intimate. It's clear that Mary was trying to start a love relationship with someone else. Now, she wasn't willing to leave if she didn't have money. This guy, this catfish, was telling her he had money. But, she was weary. She hadn't met him yet. So even though she was willing to leave, she hadn't gone through it. She was starting to build up a business for herself, selling LuLaRoe leggings. She was kind of in the beginning of it, and hoping she was going to have this totally new life. She was the original Christine. She was going to get the heck out of there. But sadly for Mary, everything that went on with this new love interest was a total sham. It was fake. It was sad. It was broadcast to the public. Cody and all the other wives had to know about it. It must have been so embarrassing for her. Not only that, but she was carrying on this relationship in front of Leon, her child. Leon was home for the summer when all of the shit really hit the fan with Mary and her catfish, and we saw a lot of anger, discord, and disagreement between the two of them in the following seasons for at least a couple of years. You could see it made Mary really sad.
Side note, check out how Christine is the only one who stands up for Mary when Cody pushes her to talk about her catfish situation in front of all the other wives.
Really mean. Like, really bad and really scary.
Like, what would she say, Mary? I mean, what would she do?
They're doing an interview in front of the camera for Sisterwives, and Mary is claiming that the catfish was threatening her and not allowing her to go to her family to tell them what had happened, so she couldn't be honest with them. Cody basically is turning on her and being like, what happened? I don't understand. What's going on? You never told me about it. But it's obvious that Mary's embarrassed and doesn't want to talk about it, and it's very, very interesting to me how Christine is the only one who seems to care.
She would yell at me. She would threaten me.
Like what? How? What would she say? What were the threats?
Oh, Cody, why do...
I'm just curious because none of us have this experience. What are the threats? What were they yelling? How was that? I mean, it's just...
Maybe she doesn't want to go into all the details.
All right, just...
So once it was exposed that Mary was catfish, oh my God, that poor woman, I do have to say, and you know how I feel about Mary. She is not my favorite person, but she was so disgraced, so embarrassed, and where could she go? There was nowhere to go except back into the arms of her quote-unquote family, the only people she's ever known that she's been with for decades now. Sisterwives, the show, kind of helped her cover up how bad the catfishing story was. They did use it as a storyline, but they were careful not to make it sound like Mary was a total idiot, and she was, based upon records that have come out since then and everything we have access to. Mary got really scammed, and it was very embarrassing for her. I bet when she looked at it, she was like, this is just another situation in my life to be bitter about. She definitely was not going to leave Cody and the other Sisterwives now because she had worked too hard and too long to be left high and dry, embarrassed, without any money, no man to take care of her. So yeah, she worked hard. She worked at LuLaRoe, made a good amount of money for herself. She was able to buy her B&B that she always wanted in Parowan, Utah. But I absolutely and 110% believe that this is the point at which Mary said to herself, I am never leaving Cody. I will follow this man around until his dying day and destroy every relationship he has with every single wife.
My relationship with Cody has not improved as far as like a husband and wife relationship. Like that's not something that he's interested in.
But I don't think it's a fulfilling relationship for Mary, not in any way.
I will leave him and every person in this family as devastated as I have been for the past several decades. I absolutely believe that we can see that in Mary, and this finale is everything Mary has been waiting for.
Okay, so let's take a listen to what Mary has to say in one of the most recent episodes of Sisterwives regarding Christine leaving.
It's interesting hearing him talking about this and the parallels that is happening with him and Christine and me and him. It's kind of disturbing because like some of the things that he's frustrated about with Christine, he did to me. Oh, he wants to work on it with Christine, but not me.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, Christine didn't cheat on Cody with some guy she met on the internet. But Mary really doesn't like to bring that kind of stuff up or own up to it. So it's going to be something she's not going to talk about. Although it doesn't really matter because let's be honest, Cody's been cheating on all of them all along.
If people are just tired of trying and they don't want to work it out, then I need to know.
So we saw this part in the sneak peeks. If you do not see it, it is down my page. But basically, Mary is like, hey, you fucking hypocrite. You are calling Christine out for X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, you're doing all those same things to me and have for years. And Robin is like, If anyone is thinking of leaving, you must come to me, the queen of this castle. Meanwhile, we have Cody, who is like, I don't have a head wife in this family. No one believes you. No one. I don't think you even believe you at this point. I'm so mad I left my Skittles upstairs when I got kicked out of my room. Now I'm stuck with M&Ms, which I love M&Ms, but I was really looking forward to Skittles. So Mary tells Robin, she's like, dude, I'm here. Like, I ain't going anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere. You already know this. And Robin just kind of sits there silently because what she was really after was Janelle's answer. She already knows that Mary's a sucker and is going to just sit there because she's asked her to help her rebuild whatever she's rebuilding.
That's where I think this TikToker, Robin, and everybody else has it all wrong. Mary is no fool. She's there for a reason, Robin, and it's to help tear down everything that Cody's been trying to build. She's no idiot. She has no plans to get back with Cody. She's living in Parowan, Utah, running her own B&B, building her LuLaRoe leggings empire. She couldn't give a shit less what goes on with you and Cody. This is about being there to witness everything exploding around Cody. First it was Christine, now it'll be Janelle, but don't worry, Robin. She'll be coming for you eventually.
I don't even want a relationship with Mary, but he only says that to the cameras by himself and not to Mary's face, so there's that.
It's like I'm being forced to choose between my children and this group. I don't feel like my children are welcome.
When have they not felt welcome?
Well, Cody's basically told me they can't come for Christmas unless they do a big apology. And they're like, well, hell no, we're not going to do that.
You see that? You see what's going on there? Like, they're having a whole conversation that doesn't even really involve Mary, but she's just sitting there with a bitch face on her look, watching them, dissecting what's going on, celebrating deep down in her heart that everybody else is just as miserable as she is. Now, let me share this last video of one TikToker who really gets me. She's doing a satire of Mary giving her interview, and it is right on target.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I just poured my heart out to my entire family, and all I could hear was the squeaking of my leather jacket. And a lot of people say, oh, Mary, why are you still there? He doesn't even want you there. Why would you be there? And you know what? The answer lies right there in their question. You don't think that I don't want to burn Cody's ass in all of this? I know he wants me to leave. So guess what I'm never doing? Leaving. If I don't get to be the princess of my own story, you better believe I'll be the villain of his. So yeah, I'm prepared to fight for this relationship and family. And I plan to fight hard. But again, on the off chance that Cody watches this segment of the show, I want him to know that he is handsome, the best husband, fair, good with money, great at setting boundaries, looks really cool in tiny gloves. Anyway, I'm sure he skipped it soon after he heard that I thought that he was good with money. Guys, I'm in on it. You don't think that I really want to be here with him, right? I want to be here because I know it hurts him. I am the victor. And to the victor goes the spoils.
Of course, she's never leaving Cody. He wants her to go. He'd like to be alone with Robin, and then Robin would really have to stomach dealing with Cody all on her own. But Mary's not going to let that happen. She's going to stick around for as long as she can because she's owed the money, the support, the family, the connections. She's going to stick around until Cody is gone.
Guys, and therein lies the key to what we've really been watching for the past 17 seasons. All along, we've been thinking that we're watching a show about the disintegration of a marriage because of Robin coming into the family. But what it's really always been about is the revenge of the first wife. This was Mary Brown's show all along.